Hi students, this is Mrs. R. Ambigeshwari, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KCS Kasinada College of Arts and Science. In this video, let's see the reminiscences of Harry's character which appears in the short story of The Snows of Kilimanjaro. The protagonist character Harry lies on the deathbed and he recollects his life through 5 flashbacks. Now let us see each flashback of his life. The first flashback. In this first flashback, snow is the central element in each of his recollections. He remembers the railway station in Karagach, Turkey, and leaving on the famous Orient Express and riding through northern Greece, where he recalled fighting between the Greeks and Turks. Then he remembers Bulgaria, the mountains covered with snow, the exchange of population, and people walking in the snow until they died in it. There he also protected a deserter. While snowed in at the Madlener House for a week, the owner of the Gasthus lost everything while gambling. There, in the cold, bright mountains, someone named Barker bombed Austrian officers' leave train and strangled those who escaped, and then came into the Austrian mess hall and barged about it. Even in the first flashback, he remembers Vorarlberg and Arlberg winter skies resorts with many activities including skiing on the snow like a bird in the air. Even Hemingway skied often in the places. Harry never wrote about any of these adventures in his writings. Throughout this section, there is an overwhelming sense of loss of lives from war and loss of life due to despair and adverse financial circumstances. Throughout the flashback, the snow sets the stage for spiritual ascension and release. The spiritual ascension in terms of being released during death, although through unpleasant means from the earthly plane, and releases in terms of finding joy and peace in skiing free and unfettered in the wind. Harry went many places and saw many things, but never wrote about any of them in his writings. In a flashback too, Harry remembers quarreling in Paris and going to Constantinople and spending his time having sex with all kinds of women and finally getting into fights. After one fight, he decided to leave for Anatolia, the great plains of Turkey, where poppies are grown for opium. He recalls what strange things opium did for him. He seemed to see men wearing white ballet skirts and upturned shoes with a pom-pom on their toes. He saw such horrors that when he returned to Paris, he couldn't talk about it or write about it. In Paris, Harry met Tristan Tzara, a Romanian poet who founded the Dada movement and who represented everything that Harry, that is the author himself, Hemingway, opposed. Harry had never written any of this, but he had liked to write about it. This particular flashback focuses on escapism, futility, and what doesn't come for fruition, particularly in Harry's relationship with women. The empty, one-night sexual encounters with women, winning a fight with a man for a woman he has for some on evening, and the sentimental relapse for the past love that ruins his present marriage, all are these responses to quarrel that happened and passed. The another level of futility can also be seen in the war. Harry and the British observer run as fast as they can, only to see the Turks coming upon them as they hide. Rather than facing his feelings, Harry escapes into the world of booze, one night stands, as well as opium for altered states of consciousness that enabled him to forget the quarrel with his wife and the war. In a flashback 3, it deals with the two themes. One is destruction and the lingering loss despite recovery and rebuilding. and productivity and happiness in the midst of poverty. Harry recalls his grandfather's log house that burned and destroyed all his grandfather's guns, and how, even though it was rebuilt, his grandfather never bothered to get more guns and never hunted again. Though the log house was rebuilt, the remnants of the destroyed guns lay in the ashes of the fire like coffins in its crypt, with his grandfather and everyone else giving the remnants of the guns the same respect and the birth due gravesend. He then remembers Germany's Black Forest, where he went after the war and fished. He remembers the hotel where, because of inflation, the proprietor lost all his money and he didn't have enough money from the previous year to buy supplies, and he didn't even open the hotel. And finally, he hanged himself. Although the hotel may have lingered after the inflation, the proprietor was lost forever. Harry recalls all of the little neighborhoods in the Paris where he lived when he was poor, including the drunkards and the sportifs. He remembers the inexpensive hotel where he rented the top room to live in and write. He could see the rooftops of Paris from his window and observe the various things that were happening in the streets below. Here, these poor little neighborhoods in Paris were full of vivid characters and vital people, productive in some way and happy despite their poverty. It was here that Harry was penniless yet productive, enjoying the people, watching opportunities and quaint beauty that these neighborhoods offered. It was his favorite part of Paris, and it represents his youth, happiness and potential. The important here in this flashback also is that mention of the famous writer Paul Verlaine dying in a cheap hotel in the neighborhood. This talented writer's demise in this neighborhood parallels Harry's potential for talent and demise as well, as Harry's demise started when he left this neighborhood and abandoned this lifestyle. In the flashback 4, he realizes that he never wrote about many things, a ranch and a half-witch cowboy who was given the task of protecting the farm in the absence of the owner. When another farmer, mean-spirited, sadistic man, tried to get himself some feed from the barn and threatened to beat the cowboy if he tried to stop him. The cowboy was loyal to the owner. That was when the cowboy got a rifle, shot the man and left him for the dogs to eat. Harry remembers taking the carcass into the town with the cowboy's help, who thought that he was going to be rewarded for protecting his master's property, but to his amazement was arrested and handcuffed. Then he turned to Harry and began to cry. That was one story that Harry had saved to write. He is sure that he has at least 20 good stories inside him, stories that he would never write. This particular flashback deals with a misguided loyalty, although the cowboy protected the hay and was loyal to the owner as he was told to do. His misguided sense of how to be loyal and protect his owner results in the grisly crime and discrimination of the cops. In the 5th flashback, Harry remembers the death of a soldier named Williamson who had been hit by a bomb, and while he was trying to move, he realized that he was snagged and caught in a wire fence with his bowels spilling out onto the wire. He begged Harry to kill him. This is the only flashback in this short story where Harry doesn't mention that he failed to write about a certain memories or memorize. This particular flashback was one Harry probably didn't want to write about, and it deals with a man who couldn't stand things. Readers aren't told whether Williams couldn't have survived. However, the fact that he was brought from the battlefield alive and conscious for some time even after being given a fatal dose of morphine pills that Harry saved for himself indicated to Harry that Williamson was a very strong man. Despite his strength, he didn't wait to find out whether the Lords gave him more than he could bear. He simply didn't try to beat the pain. This is the first deed of the three of Harry's life that facilitates his flight to Kilimanjaro. Because Harry sacrifices the morphine pills to ease Williamson's pain. This episode is parallel to one of the part 2 where Harry sacrifices himself to his wife and stays loyal to her as opposed to the absolving himself and admitting that he would never loved her.